much, if anything, can you take away from the fact that you did beat these guys early in the conference season? How much does it help to just be able to show guys a film where you played well and beat a really good team?
Yeah, I think it means a lot. Obviously, we don't have a ton of conference wins, and when you beat a team, especially a team as successful as Wake Forest has been throughout the year, serves as confidence and as a boost. Our guys know these guys. We know how they intend on attacking us. We understand who their key players are, and the fact that we were able to, minimize the impact that they've had throughout the year, I think is a good thing for our group.
What did you do well in that game? Because if I remember well, that was one of the more maybe complete games that you guys played.
Yeah, I agree. I thought, watching it last night, it was like, wow, we had a lot of contributions from a lot of different guys. And so, we're going to need everybody that hits the floor tomorrow to play well again. We were able to force Alondis Williams, who's a fantastic player, to miss some jump shots. He's really good at getting to the rim, and we were able to limit, his opportunities around the basket. Different guys stepped up and guarded him well, Jared West, Dre Davis, and, we're going to have that same type of effort tomorrow in order to slow him down.
Mike, obviously a trend has kind of developed as of late that this team has kind of struggled to close out in a few games down in crunch time. How do you go about communicating that to the guys and trying to get that corrected, given everything else that has gone on this season?
Yeah, so we had a really good, I think, film session in which, you never know how good it is until you hit the game floor the next time. And, we get an opportunity to right some of those wrongs that we had down the stretch against Carolina. Hopefully our shot selection is better. Hopefully the number of threes that we take is different. It's not necessarily minimal, but we talked a lot about the ball getting in the paint first before we just, jack threes, right? We don't want to be a team that's consumed with shooting what I call no paint threes. If you're in transition and you're wide open, that's one thing. But to come down in the half court and the ball never get in the paint and then all of a sudden we hoisted three, that's not good offense. So it's twofold, right? Our players have to be committed to playing that brand of basketball and getting the ball in the paint and be relentless about getting paint touches. And our staff, we have to be able to, create some actions for them that, allow them and give them an advantage to get the ball in the paint as well.
I think this probably goes hand in hand with that, but you guys just all year long you've really struggled to get to the free throw line. Not a great team at converting when you're there, but also just the opportunities. How much do you think that's impacted you guys offensively, just not to get those points there? And how much is getting the ball in the paint geared toward also getting to the line more?
I mean, it's unfortunate that we don't get to the line. We go 2 for 5 from the line. I think in games where we've shot 5 free throws or less, we're 0-4. That's a bad stat to have. We don't have a P.J. Hall, an Armando Baycott, a guy that just draws a ton of fouls. We don't have a play-through post, all right? I know we got a lot of guys that are tall, and to an average basketball fan, you look at it and you say, well, why don't they throw it inside? Well, quite honestly, we don't have a guy that can play with his back to the – our best post player is Dre Davis, okay? If you really understand this game, you know that, and you watched us, all right? So we try to post Dre as much as we can. He's really good on the left block. Sam Williamson is a guy that, given this matchup, we like to throw it into. Jalen can play it in the post a little bit, more of a face-up guy. But our bigger guy, Sidney Curry, I will say, is really good on that right block, okay? And we try to get the ball to Sid, but Sid has to help us on the defensive end, and that's where his struggles have been in terms of me trusting him and keeping him on the floor longer. He can't hurt us on the defensive end, but he's another one of our bigger guys that can post. So that being said, we have to get the ball in the post more. We have to get it in the paint, whether it be on a post-up or an offensive rebound or a drive or a cut. Our team going forward, all right, starting on Saturday, has to be so much more intentful about getting the ball in the paint on every possession. Now, teams aren't going to let you do that, right? They're going to defend. They're going to protect the paint just like we try to. But we have to find a way to do so in order to be more efficient on the offensive end.
Mike, as a coach, how frustrating is it knowing you make that tweak to the offense to get more paint touches? You start to see more success in spurts, and it gets to the final 4, 5, 6 minutes, and then the team just wants to kind of throw that game plan out the window and hoist up a bunch of threes.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Our team, when you lose as many games as we've lost, you worry about the collective belief at times. We have to be better with that. Like, we're a good enough team to finish those games. We're a good enough team to compete with the Carolinas, the Dukes, and some of the better teams in this league. We beat a Wake Forest. We have to finish stronger. We have to run through the tape. We can't crawl to the finish line by jacking threes and hoping that they go in. We have to be a team that is committed to continuing. You know, I think we had a game recently where we had 48 points in the paint, right? We can do that. We can, why can't we do that the entire game, not just for 30, 35 minutes?
Like, how much has maybe over the last month, if you just look at the numbers in terms of shot attempts and a little bit of the scoring, Dre's are up, and I wonder how much of that is that approach of trying to focus more on things that he does particularly well.
Yeah, you know, the thing about Dre is he can really score on the left block, and he generally has a matchup where he's a bigger, stronger guy against his matchup. You know, sometimes when Sid is down there, he's battling a guy that's bigger or equally as strong as him. And with Dre, you know, he has a tendency to be going against a guy that's a little thinner and a little lighter and somebody he can back down and get to the rim. So I want him to score out of the post. You know, I don't want his three-point field goal attempts to go up. I want those to be minimal. But I certainly want his field goal attempts around the basket to go up because he gives us a really good advantage down low.
He looks, just like when you watch him play, he looks like he's given it all, like all the time. He just seems like he's really engaged when he's out there. Is that true of him, and has that stayed true even as you guys have struggled with the things you have?
He's one of the more steady guys that we have on the team, without a doubt. He's, you know, in essence, an everyday guy. Dre hasn't given our staff any issues throughout the year. He wants to win. He understands how to play the game the right way. He doesn't always, you know, obviously make all of the plays. He certainly makes his share of mistakes. We all do. But his heart is in the right place. He's a coachable kid. He's a coach's son. His mom and dad raised him well. I think he gets it, you know, a little more than even some of our other guys. And he's just been a steady force. And all of our guys are capable of being that way. We need everybody to finish strong these next few games. And you know, we've had a pretty good rhythm since Miami. I know that we lose to Carolina, no excuse for that. You know, I'm not in the moral victories. We have to finish the game, to your point, Matt, a lot better. We have to make better decisions. But I think since the Miami game, we had our sit down and we talked. The vibe has been better. You know, hopefully now that we've addressed head-on these threes, in particular late game, we can make that adjustment and find a way to get a couple victories before we get to Brooklyn.
I am curious, with only 3 games left in the regular season, then you're running the ACC tournament, what is the message to this team, like, as the season is just about to wrap up?
Yeah, the message is let's get better every day, one day at a time. You know, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. You know, I've had the question asked about goals. You know, all of that stuff was kind of thrown out of the window a little bit, right? When Coach left, I wasn't the head coach when those goals were set. All right, so we've had to reshuffle the deck. And so now our focus is to one day at a time, let's improve, all right? Right now our focus is get the ball in the paint more on offense. Let's have multiple paint touches before we get a shot attempt. Our goal is to put teams in the half court, right? Not give up transition baskets and really, really guard the ball and gap the ball and rebound the ball. That's our goal. That's our goal. I don't care about the long-term stuff. It'll take care of itself if we do those short-term things right.
What does make Alondes Williams so difficult? Obviously, he's leading the league in scoring. What makes him such a challenge to defend?
Yeah, he's like a Karl Malone playing point guard. It starts there. Like he's a huge kid, big, strong, physical kid with a great frame. He punishes smaller guards. He makes you pay for not being as big and strong as he is, and he knows how to do it. He knows how to not only post, but he knows how to turn his back and, you know, back you down from the perimeter. He knows how to run you off a ball screen and keep you on his hip. He constantly gets in the lane, and when he's at the rim, he's tough to deal with, even if you're a 7-footer. He can also make jump shots and keep you honest. And he's the best passer in the league by far. He is a phenomenal passer. As soon as he sees somebody open, pop, you know, he throws strikes. And, you know, it's amazing. Of all the great players that have played in this league, he's the only guy that's leading the league in scoring and assists, and that says a lot about him.
Wow. Does it tell you something about opportunity? You know, like you hear all the time, like the NBA is full of guys who could play in the right situation. He's like a good player at Oklahoma, but
Yeah.
here they've found something, they've unlocked something with it.
Yeah, I mean, golly, Oklahoma, look, they're still a good program, I believe. I'm not sure how they're doing this year, but for them to lose Alondis Williams and Brady Manick, those are two really good players. Really good players. I mean, I got a lot of respect for both of those guys. So, yeah, it's amazing what he's done with his opportunity. I wish he would have stayed in the Big 12. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you.